Hello, NKA fans, and welcome back to another NKA Tonight. I will have Jeff Randall on the phone. Jeff, say hello.
Hey guys, how are you guys?
So, Jeff is here with me, of course, and today we'll be going over every single one of the players in the NKA on the current rosters, and basically just going to sum up what we expect from them going into the season, how they did last season, really just to put it all in a point of view, just to sum it up for them. So we're going to start it off here with Aiden Story, the captain of the New England Titans. Jeff, what are you expecting from this guy? After a great, pretty solid season last year.
Larry, to be honest with you, I'm not expecting really much. I'm not expecting oh my God, like an MVP type season. I'm expecting a little more of a composed season from him. I am expecting basically the same type of season out of him. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same area as well. Obviously he's not a crazy power hitter or anything, but he's usually a solid fielder. He'll get on base, pretty solid pitcher. So I do think he'll be around the same skill level as, like you said. So that's a good way to sum it up. I do agree with you on that. So now let's move on here. We have Alexander Biamonte, so one of the newest members of the New England Titans. How do you see this superstar player going into New England?
Let me Larry, he is a stud in this league, all right? And I think getting out of Seattle for him was a great move. Now, the only reason I think this is because he's got a lot of star power, and I think that the Titans is going to be a great fit for him because he's a superstar, and this is really going to unify that he's an MVP candidate and he's one of the best players in this league, and he's the guy in New England for years to come. So I really think that he's a stud in this league, and this season's really going to show it for him. So he's going to have a breakout year.
Yeah, I'm going to basically 100% agree with you here. Like you said, he is the new superstar in New England. He could be the missing piece to future playoff pushes. He's obviously a great player. We've seen what he can do. He's a wonderful fielder, wonderful hitter. We've seen it, like I said. So I do think he can be the stud in New England as well, and I do think he can help this team out a lot. So you basically summed it up.
New England just lost their stud quarterback, Tom Brady. I said to these fans, he is your new Tom Brady.
I do agree, man. I really do think he can be the next superstar in New England. So we'll see how it goes, but I do think he'll be a wonderful player there. So now, Anthony Medaglia, former captain of the Tampa Bay Seawolves. We know that team is new and improved. What do you expect from Anthony Medaglia going into this 2021 season?
Really, man, I just expect a breakout year from this kid. He is a stud muffin. He's any word you want to use. And I think that this is going to be the best year for him. And I can see him kicking the ball well. I can see him playing the ball well. And I can see him all around being one of the best players that we've ever seen in this league.
Yeah, obviously I'm hoping nothing but the best for him, I do think he'll have a somewhat breakout year. I was talking to you about it before this. I do think he's up and coming. I do think he'll improve as we go. And, obviously he hasn't had wonderful seasons his past 2 years. So he's looking to improve, and he's got better players around him. He's got a better team. This is the best team. This is the best the Seawolves have ever been, roster-wise. So we'll see how it goes, but I do think he could have a great season coming up here. So now we'll go into Brian Avanzato. He's the new captain of the LA Devils. How do you see him doing with this new team?
I think that this new team is the best fit for this kid. I think that he's definitely one of the better players in this league. He's a superstar. He's a superstar in 2 leagues. He's the first captain in 2 professional sport leagues. And I think that he's really going to fit in this Devils team. He's definitely going to fit in this environment that they have, this vibe that they have. And I think that that's going to translate and everything. He's just going to be a good vibe player all around, and he's going to be one of the best players in the league this year. And I think that he's going to be up for the MVP trophy, and he's going to help this Devils team make a deep run.
Yeah, I like some of the points you brought up there. I mean, obviously he's a wonderful player in this league, and I do think this is a great fit for him. Obviously balancing out the league with the new draft and all that. I do think he's could definitely captain a team and a new fit in LA. That's really a great spot for him. We know that because of his wiffle ball league and all that. So I
Yeah, and I
do
definitely
think,
think that him being the guy on a team is great for him because he's been saying it since he's joined the league. He said one day, in this league, if I don't, unless I stay in Seattle, he said that he wants to be the reason a team wins a championship.
yeah, 100%. I mean, I do think he could be a big piece of a team to win a championship. So I do think he could be a wonderful captain of the LA Devils team. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm expecting big things from him.
Yeah, and I said it before to you. I love these guys. I love two of the guys in the league because they're two of my NWBL superstars.
Yeah, I mean, it correlates well.
Yeah, so let's move on.
So now we have Daniel Fusey. He's a veteran in this league. How do you see him doing in his third year with Seattle?
He hasn't gotten any better or any worse, I think, from the past years. He's very injury prone, though. He misses a lot of games. I don't see much from him this year. I just see a pretty all around, pretty well season from him.
Yeah, obviously he's been one of those, these past 2 years, he's been one of those, kind of middle tier players in this league, not down at the bottom, not really too high at the top, but, he has some breakouts we've seen of great hitting. So if he can do that consistently, he can be a star. He can. Because sometimes he has these weak at bats, and sometimes he has these wonderful at bats. So we'll see how he does. I think he's been dedicating a lot more time into practice and getting ready for the season, though. I have talked to him, and I do think he's really excited for this year. So I do think he could have a somewhat breakout season, but we'll see how he does. I think he's excited for it.
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely do agree with that, and I'm excited to see him this year.
All right, so now moving on to Edmund Grinius, one of the first player the Seattle Bulls drafted. How do you see him doing this year? Obviously, he's been great his whole career.
I mean, is there much to say about him? He's a stud. That's he's been in, this is his third season. He's been consistent. That's really it. He's made two. He wasn't with the Bulls due to injury for that last playoff, and that was depressing. I mean, I was excited. I mean, he had a great playoff in 2019, but, all good things must come to an end, and his season came to an end. And he was playing, phenomenal in that season. Injury hurt him. That's not his fault, but I definitely think that he's going to be a stud this year, and he's going to be an MVP candidate.
Yeah, 100%. We know he's been a stud in this league, like you said, from day one, really. He's always been a great hitter. He can catch, he's really good at all-around player. So I do think he can be a wonderful player next year, and no reason to be worse than he was the past years. I think he's only getting better.
Yeah, he's just a stud.
Yeah. So that brings us to the new rookie in LA, Edward Laxton. How do you see him doing this in his first full year?
This is my second NWBL superstar in this league, and what I'm going to say about him, he teammates with Brian Avanzato in Hollywood. He's in the LA environment. He loves the spotlight as a player. That's just his vibe. He kind of reminds me, he loves the media much different than his teammate. His teammate Brian hates the media so much. But Edward Laxton loves the media. He's up on the trends. He's with everything. Much different than his teammates. But I think that he's going to fit in well, and he's going to be a great start in this league, and he's going to really fit in well with this LA environment, with the LA fans, with everything in LA. With the city LA is, he's going to love it there, playing two sports there, and he's going to be a great stud in this league, I think. Just wait.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he just signed with the Bombers and now just signing with another LA team. So, he's new to LA, but I do think once he gets used to it, he can really start to become an elite player in both leagues, like you said. I mean, two new teams, I do think he can be a wonderful player. And he needs some time to develop, but maybe he can get to a hot start. He's played that one game. We've seen some good things, seen some things he needs to work on. So we'll see how he does. I'm sure he's training and getting ready. So I do think he could be a pretty solid player coming into his first year.
definitely excited to see it. So let's move on.
Next up, we have Kyle Borneman of the Tampa Bay Seawolves. So, the one of the newest players there, one of the great additions we've seen over this offseason. How do you think he's doing going into this?
Kyle's a veteran, and he's one of the greatest players of all time in this league. And I think that he's going to be a great addition to this team, and he's going to keep building that rivalry with the Bulls. And we might see another possible playoff championship run from this Seawolves team. So we're going to have to wait and see, and I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Seawolves went back-to-back to the championship and lost to the Bulls in both years. I do think this team has only gotten better from then. So could we see him going back? I think it could definitely happen. And I do think maybe they could be the missing pieces from it. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, he's been a stud all his career. We know that. And I think he'll only carry that over to Tampa Bay. No reason not to. I think he's a huge piece. So moving...
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, so now we're moving on to a very recent signing, about a day ago, really. Signed with the LA Devils, Kyle Lubin. So he's played that first year he played with Tampa. He was a decent player, and then he was with New England, but was out for the whole season. He had some injury issues. I think he tore his ACL. It was big. But he's moving into this season. I'm sure he's getting ready. How do you see him doing with this new team?
So, Larry, like I've said before, I love this Devs team. And, I mean, they are phenomenal. And I think that this was a great addition for them. And I think Kyle Lubin is a great player. He's had that injury issue, like we said. And I think that that's not going to affect him. He's not going to let it affect him. And he's going to be great, and I'm excited to see him. And I don't know how the Devils stayed under their cap space signing him to $25 million, but he's going to be a stud. He's going to put the ball where you need it. He's going to get on base. He's going to be an old, reliable player to let Avanzado, Laxton, both the GOAT do their dirty work and get the runs in. So I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, you brought up some great points, like I said before, and you as well. So, I mean, I do think he could be... I think it's a great signing. I think he's going to be a great player for this team, and I think he could help them out in a deep playoff run.
Yeah, I mean, him coming out of retirement is huge.
Yeah, 100%. So now moving into Luke Grenice, the captain of the Seattle Bulls. He's been with them since day one. How do you see him doing?
I see him having another stud-muffin season. He's definitely a stud. But I don't know. Does Luke Grenice need superstars around him? That's the question with Brian Avanzado, too. And the question with Kyle Borneman. Do they need superstars around them? That's also the problem, not with Kyle Borneman, sorry, with Alex Biamonte.
Yes.
Does this Bulls team need stars around them to make them better? So we're going to find out that with Brian Avanzado, with Alex Biamonte, with Luke Grenice, but I definitely don't think that they do. But I think that Luke's going to have another stud-muffin season, another breakout season, and break some more records.
Yeah, obviously, that was a really good point you brought up. We'll see how Avanzado and Biamonte do in two completely different situations. Obviously, the whole team was basically filled with superstars, so we'll see how that all adds up. But, obviously we're expecting similar performances last season, only getting better. So I do think he could have another wonderful year as he's shown, and try and lead this Bulls team back to a championship.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, let's keep it going. Let's see what we got next. We have Nick Fair of now the New England Titans. So how do you see him doing in his second year?
Man, there's not much to talk about. I mean, he's a stud. He has a lot of potential. That's all I can say. He hasn't wowed me yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. I mean, he's an upcoming player. He's the youngest player in this league. He's shown great signs, and obviously there's other things he needs to work on about his game. So I do think he's an up-and-coming star. He could become a top player in this league, but I don't think he's there yet. So he can, we'll see how he does in this season. It's just a great year for him to develop and get better.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So moving on to Nicholas McGuire, still with his New England Titans team. How do you see him doing?
I don't know, man. We haven't really seen him play too much due to injuries and stuff, but I think that he's gonna be. I think that he's gonna be a pretty solid player. So I'm just excited to see him play this year.
Yeah, he's a similar player to Daniel Fusey in a way, not so much with the power hitting, but he's kind of a middle of the pack player. Obviously we've only seen about like a few, like you said, a few games, so we'll see how he does. I think he's going to improve. I think he likes where he is with this New England Titans team, and I do think he could definitely help him out and try and make a playoff push. So we'll see how he does. I think he's a solid player though.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Moving on to Ryan DeSimone, one of the day ones with this Tampa Bay Seawolves team. How do you see him doing in this 2021 season?
I see him doing great things. He's captain. I mean, he definitely leads this team. He's definitely a leader. Even though he knows he might not be the best player, he leads, and he must love the area of Tampa. He stayed through heartbreaking losses, and I'm just excited to see how he does. He's not the best player ever. He's not the best player in the league, but he definitely leads by examples, and he's one of the best leaders in the league.
Oh, 100%. Getting named captain, I do think, and with these new moves, I do think he's very excited now to be a member of the Seawolves team. He's never loved it there. He's always been pissed off about these back-to-back losses, But I do think things are starting to get better for that team, and I think things are starting to get better for him as well, especially being named captain. So, and like before, I do think he's a similar player to McGuire. He obviously has a lot more experience, though. So, we'll see how he does. I'm excited to see how he does with this team, though. I think he's going to have a great season.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very, very excited.
All right, so moving on to Ryan Falkman, one of the newest players of the LA Devils team. He's staying in LA with the newly branded team. He only had about I believe 2 games last year, so this will be still kind of a rookie season for him. How do you see him doing?
I see him doing great, he's a great prospect, and I see big things coming for him, and I'm excited for him.
Yeah, he's one of the up-and-coming players. We've seen strong parts of his game, like a few players I've said before. I've heard it a lot. And we've seen the weak parts. So, hopefully he's working on that. I think he's getting ready for this season. He's an up-and-coming player, so we'll see how he does.
Yeah, very exciting.
Moving on to Tim Fair. He's been in this league just about since day one as well. He's a great player. How do you see him doing this year?
I see him having a great year. He's had some pretty solid years. He's pretty consistent, and I see him having another really consistent year.
Yeah, he's actually very surprising with his power hitting. He's actually a great home run hitter. We've seen last year, a lot of people don't acknowledge it, but he's had a good amount of home runs. So we'll see how he can do with this new Seawolves team. I think having his longtime teammate Kyle Borneman with him is a huge part of that. So we'll see how he does. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for him, and I think that he's going to have a lot of home runs. And if I have to compare him to like any player that I think that he's going to be like this year, or any player that's going to be like him, I think Eddie Laxton and him are going to be like this similar skill level.
Okay, that's a good comparison. So we'll move on to the star, one of the biggest stars in this league, Tyler Granese. How do you see him doing this year with the Seattle Bulls?
Right, Tyler, he has a lot of stud power. He's literally the definition of stud muffin, and he's one of the best players in the league. Him, his brother Luke, Kyle, and really, like now, Biamonte and Avanzado, they're the faces of the league. They're the 5 faces of the league, Biamonte, the face of the Titans, Avanzado, the face of the Devs. The Granese brothers are the face of the Bulls, and Borneman is the face of the Seawolves. So, he's a great player. He's a stud, and I'm excited to see him. He's very consistent, but I think that this year he's going to be like, I guess you could say inconsistent, and he's just going to blow it off the top, and he's just going to break records.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with you there. Obviously, all those players you mentioned, faces of the league, top players in the league, some of the best talents we've seen in this league. And obviously, Tyler is all about that. He's just a wonderful player, obviously, an incredible power hitter. So, going into the season, obviously, you're going to expect big things. He's coming off a huge offensive year. So, his defense was a little shaky. He's had some drops and misplays in the field. So, we'll see how he does with that. But offensively, he's a wonderful player, and we'll see how he does going into the season. Obviously, we expect big things.
Yeah, I'm very excited for him.
So, I believe this will be topping off our list with, as the Devils organization likes to say, Thomas Vogt the GOAT. How do you guys see him doing in his with his new team, the LA Devils, in this season?
I see him doing great, and the reason that I see him doing great is he's a stud, What's his nickname? Thomas Vogt the GOAT. Like, I think that he's going to have the greatest season that he's ever had, and he's going to play great, he's going to be a stud, and I'm excited for him.
Yeah, I think last year was actually his worst season. I think the year before that, when they had Tyler Granese on the team, was his best year, because having a wonderful player like Tyler Granese makes the whole team better, and I think that goes for the same as Medaglia as well, and DeSimone even. I mean, he taught him so much, and I do think he's a huge part of all those players' success, and that's why I think losing him in free agency was just not great for the Seawolves last year, and it showed in their performance. But having a new team, they got a promising rookie, and Falkman and Laxton, obviously Starr and Avedado, so we'll see how they do. I do think this could be one of the better seasons for him, so we'll see how he does in this up-and-coming season.
Yeah, I'm excited for him,
All right, so that just about caps off the list. That's going to finish it up. So we summed up basically every player in the league, and that'll basically do it. So I think we made some great points. I'm excited to see how all these guys do in their up-and-coming season. Some of them with their new teams, and like you said, you got new faces of the franchises. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, so am I, man. I can't wait.
All right, Jeff, thank you for coming out today, and we'll see you in the next NK Tonight.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Larry. Maybe I can host the next NKA Tonight, man.
Yeah, of course. So
Yeah,
thank you, fans, for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
See you guys.